Hey, Jason here with World Compassion. I am sitting here with Air Vice Marshal, former General George Sada from the Iraqi Air Force. Many of you who have partnered with World Compassion over the years might be familiar with General Sada. Wrote the book Saddam's Secrets and has an incredible story. He's a follower of Jesus. He's a Christian, and he's been a dear friend of my dad's, Dr. Terry Law, the ministry here, our family. He lives part-time here in the United States and is just very involved and very knowledgeable about what is going on in the Middle East. And so with all the news stories, America's decision to pull away from the Kurds in Syria, Trump's decision to do that, and there's so much happening in the Middle East, a lot of times we'll reach out to General Sada and we'll just get his advice and his wisdom and his perspective because it's a very complicated situation. And so today we thought we'd have this conversation with General Sada, but let you experience. George, I remember the first time that we met was in May of 2003. I had just graduated from ORU.
Yeah.
And we drove in a Suburban from Amman, Jordan, through the night, all the way to Baghdad. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that. And it was on the 8th of May, 2003.
And so, and I think George Bush was the president at the time, and he declared the war officially over May 5th.
On the 1st of May, he declared that the operations are over.
And we were in a war zone 7 days later.
Yes.
And so now we're in 2019.
Wow. Long time, isn't it?
It is.
But I remember it minute by minute until we arrived Baghdad.
Well, thank you for being here
Thank you.
and letting us chat with you a little bit. I think it's important. Our mission at World Compassion is not political, but the countries that we do work in, a lot of times there is political things that happen. It can affect people on the ground. It affects the Christian population.
That's true.
And that is our business. We're here to support the church, to empower the local church and nations that are considered hostile or restricted to the gospel message. And so I think it's important that we take a minute and we just get a little bit better understanding of what is going on in the Middle East. And so I know you have a lot of great relationships with political leaders in a lot of different countries in the Middle East. You're talking to people daily, and you have a lot of history and background that you can bring to the table. So I've got a few questions. There's a lot of opinions, and you don't have to give yours, but there's a lot of opinions, there's a lot of perspectives, there's a lot of questions about the U.S. pulling away, Trump's decision to pull away from the Kurds. They've been an ally to us, World Compassion. I mean, we've been pro-Kurdistan, but that's not everybody's perspective, and it's not necessarily what could happen in all this. That doesn't mean the Kurdish people don't have a place for advancing the kingdom of God, though, even though they might not become their own nation right now. But what is there a bigger picture that's happening right now with Turkey's advancement into Syria, Syria's involvement, Russia is now involved, U.S. is kind of pulled out of that specific zone. What's the bigger picture? What's happening?
Yeah, Jason, let us go back. This issue, actually, it is not born yesterday. This issue is long and deep in history. But we don't want to go very deep in history. But at least let us start from 2003.
Mm-hmm.
From 2003, the Kurdish start having some sort of region, some sort of government, presidency, and everything. And this have started in Iraq. And as you know, Iraq is south of Turkey. North of Iraq, in the borders of Turkey, that is South Turkey, they are living also Kurdish.
This agreement, though, when they started separating, that was an official agreement between Baghdad and Erbil?
Yes.
That they could do this, that they could begin formulating an semi-autonomous region?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was mentioned in the constitution, and the Kurdistani region in north of Iraq was created. But that affected very much to South Turkey. Why? Because they are Kurdish. You know, the Kurdish people are in 4 countries, but geographically they are connected because they are east of Syria, south of Turkey, north of Iraq, and west of Iran. But the geography of Kurdish people, where they are living, it's one. So they continue marry with each other, go to each other even without visas, without anything. It's mountains. And these people are very free to visit their relatives are everywhere. And that is why this issue will continue. You see, now Turkey have recognized that the Kurdish PKK party which it is a party, are terrorists.
And why do they? It's important, I think, for people to understand why do we think Turkey feels that way towards them?
Okay, you see, Turkey look to their security. Turkey thinks that these people are dangerous to Turkey because they want to create the same region that it is in Iraq. Now this.
Turkey doesn't want that.
Of course doesn't, and Syria doesn't want that, and Iran doesn't want that.
Yeah.
You see, it is a complicated issue.
Yeah.
And I am sure in the future, this Kurdish issue is going to be very, very, very important to all these countries. Because it is cutting a part of geography of the country and being given to, and everybody knows that the aims of any Kurdish in the area is to create the Great Kurdistan. For Kurdish to feel and love each other in all these countries is the right thing. I mean, it's his people.
Yeah.
He have got nothing against them. They are Kurdish like him. But for the real countries like Iraq, Syria, Turkey, and it is different. They say, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That is...
this is our land.
Of course, it's our land.
Yeah.
How they will... When you come and discuss it politically, the countries will not accept it. For example, neither Syria, nor Turkey, nor Iran accept the same thing for the Kurdish, which have happened in Iraq.
And so Turkey feels because the Kurdish people want to take this land inside of Syria, they're advancing towards the Kurdish goal of seeing a greater Kurdistan, and they're afraid that's going to influence the Kurds in Turkey.
That's
that
true.
could take some of their land. So
That
they're
is
trying
true.
to prevent that from happening, and this is why Turkey has the perspective
Plus
that they're terrorists.
Plus to that, Jason, the Turkish fighters, PKK fighters, are taking peacefully hiding in these areas. You see, today, the Turkish F-16 are attacking Iraq, north of Iraq, Kurdistan. Why? Because the PKK, when they are retreated in the mountains in South Turkey, where they go? They move south. When they move south, they will enter Iraq. In this case, Iraqi Kurdish, they are their people.
Yeah.
They are protecting them, feeding them, give them everything because, at the end of the day, they love them.
But
they
then
are their
Turkey's
nation.
still attacking.
So Turkey will say, hey, wait a minute, our enemy now is having safe haven in Iraq. Therefore, we will follow them. They are followed them by F-16s, and they are hitting them. Now, this is creating another new problem because this north of Iraq, which calls Kurdistan, is Iraq.
Yeah, so now Iraq's thinking you're attacking our
Therefore,
land.
the Prime Minister of Iraq must say something that Turkish airplanes are attacking Iraqi territories. So it is happening. Same thing is happening. And so you see, there is a strategy in security. When you have got somebody affecting your borders, affecting your security, you should not let him to get in and fight him in your area.
You want to fight him in their
You should
area.
follow him wherever he is and hit him there. And by following him and hit him there, that means you are going to the other countries.
Spoken like a general who has been at war. Yeah.
Well, so Turkey, to safeguard their south borders, they should go after the terrorists according to their thinking. These Kurdish are terrorists for them. But Kurdish, they are patriots. They are fighting to create, their liberty and their Great Kurdistan and things like that.
And it's complicated.
It's very complicated.
So real quick, people who are watching this segment of the interview, and because of this conflict, people have been displaced. We have been working in Iraq since 2003, or 2002 really, and we have helped with displaced people. And so we're continuing to do that, not taking political sides. Everybody's got their political opinion, but again, World Compassion's goal is to advance the gospel, to reach people for Jesus. And ultimately, it is the message of Jesus getting into the hearts and the minds of these people throughout that entire region that's going to lead to sustainable peace. Hey, I hope you're enjoying these conversations with General Sada. It really is a great opportunity for us to gain a little bit better understanding of what's going on in the Middle East. But we also want to invite you to be a part of the solution. As overwhelming as it seems in the Middle East sometimes, we really do believe that Jesus is the answer, and you can participate. A simple gift, a gift of $20, $25, $50, or whatever you can give to help provide a blanket to somebody, a heater to somebody, to help a young lady who has been displaced from her city and her home to learn how to sew. Your giving makes a difference in the lives of these people, empowering the local church there to help build relationships with the people and introduce them to Jesus, who is the answer. So you can give right here on our website if you want to. We can't do this work without you. It is people like you who are giving, partnering with what we're doing with the church over there that makes this happen. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Thanks for standing with us.